Welcome, brand new week. I couldn't wait to come back, guys. When I'm gone, I feel a certain type of way. You know, it's like I'm missing you guys. So I'm always excited to come back your way every week where we have real conversations that can have real impact in your life. This week, MX Conversations is back right here on MX24. Of course, you can join the conversations online via all of our social media, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at MX24GH. I have some super excited stuff packed up for this episode that you don't want to miss. But let's kick right into tech trends for the week. And it's been super amazing. Now, there are things I'm going to touch on that are not super techy, but they fully dominated the tech space across the world. So, of course, one of that is the fact that there's a huge conversation about LGBTQ, and this is something that everybody is talking about, and it dominated conversations globally, especially here in Ghana and across board in Africa with some of the things that were happening. But a real tech news that I want us to follow is the push that TikTok is giving a lot of small businesses and content creators. And that was one of the major trends of the week, how people are growing exponential following, selling high stuff on this thing called TikTok because it is very organic. It is not super choked down with ads and all of those algorithm changes yet that you're seeing on other platforms like Instagram and all of that. And the world is jumping to TikTok. So if you've not been paying attention to TikTok as a small business, even as SME or even a big business or a content creator, maybe it is time for you to look at TikTok. If you look at TikTok trends, in fact, tech trends for the week, everybody is talking about how super easy it is for you to grow exponentially on this new platform. So are you on TikTok? Is your business on TikTok? Are you creating content for TikTok? And you don't even have to overdo it. In fact, the kind of content that is flying on TikTok is one that can be done easily with a phone and a little bit of creativity, a little bit of spicy here. You can jump on trends and do all of those stuff. But one of the major conversations of the week, of course, has been TikTok and how you can utilize it. Finally, the one that I want to bring to your attention, something very closely related to TikTok, is YouTube Shorts. So this is a new platform that is going to premiere and launch in America only as phase 1 in March. So they're going to start testing out the app, and it is literally the very, very copy of TikTok, and that is YouTube bringing about. Of course, you know the kind of infrastructure that YouTube has. It is backed by Google, owned by Google, the kind of data assets they have. And so it will be very interesting to see how that plays out, looking at YouTube Shorts entering to compete, of course, with TikTok. And that would also be competing with Snapchat and Instagram, Reels, because all of these are trying to do the same thing. The next question is, will Facebook pull up something like that as well, since everybody is now looking at short content that delivers value on the go and on the spot? So if you've missed out on TikTok, don't worry. You can check out YouTube Shorts and be one of the first early adopters of the platform, because what happens with any tech platform, if you're early and if you're on there in the early stages, then you are the ones who get to scale and become the major influencers and the ones who get verified when those type of stuff start popping up. And that is what has been happening in tech trends. When I come back, there is more. You cannot go anywhere, guys. Conversations right here on MX24. Welcome back from that commercial break. Now we can get into today's conversation, one that I've been so excited about right from the beginning of this week, and I couldn't wait to bring it to you. Now, I'm a little above 25. I cannot tell you how old I am. Well, ladies can say it, so I'm not going to say it either. But I know I'm a little above 25. And there are a few things I wish somebody told me before I was 25. So this is a very special one. And even if you're above 25, I'm sure that some of the things we're about to talk about will still have some level of relevance for you. So you don't want to miss this. Now, to do this, I combined two worlds. I'm bringing America. I'm bringing Nigeria, because you know what? Ideas are truly global and they do not in any way need to be limited based on where they are coming from. So to do that, let me first bring to you my sister from Nigeria. She's literally my sister, one of the finest fashion minds that I know, an absolutely passionate person about empowering, especially women, young women, to take, their seat at the table and be able to bring some value to the world. Her name is Patience Odonko, runs one of the biggest fabric hubs in Nigeria, and of course, one of the most fantastic and elaborate. You might be seeing me wearing some of his stuff very soon. Patience Odonko joins me from Abuja, Nigeria. And my brother is joining us from the United States of America, Joseph. Look, I don't even need to even go, guys, if I put his handle on and you go check him out, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Black mentor, Joseph Nantoma, is also joining me all the way from the United States. And they are going to share with us some of the things they wish they knew before they were 25. So welcome. Let's get right straight into this conversation. My sister and my brother, how are you?
Thank you very much for having me, Kwame.
Thank you for having me, Kwame.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
You guys are really looking great. Yeah, you are looking amazing. I can smell money from a distance. Even through the Zoom, I can smell money, for the two of you. So let me start with you, Patience. I know that the pandemic has been here and people have been truly, hit in different ways. In just a minute, tell me, how have you been coping? How have you been dealing with everything before we jump into the conversation?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kwame, for having me. The pandemic has been real, but in all of it, it's I've had a mindset of everything happens for a reason. This is a good time to reset. This is a good time for you to reposition and just say, how else can I emerge stronger? What can I embrace? Okay, it's tech. How do I embrace tech in my business and all of that? So it has been time for me to just reset, rethink, and reposition and re-emerge. That's what I've had this season for myself.
Fantastic. Well, let me hear from you, Joseph. I know you've been all over the place. You've been flying in and out. You've been closing deals. It's like, as for you, the pandemic has not touched you in any way. But tell me as well, how have you been coping with this pandemic? How has it affected business? And which mindset have you been riding on to deal with this, circumstance that we all find ourselves in?
Thank you for that. Just like my sister said, even though I facilitate with it's a global pandemic. A lot of people lost their businesses. So it's a sensitive thing. But however, in my line of business, it was a good thing. As you were aware, last year I traveled over 125 times. I flew into like 29 states. The thing is, when such a pandemic hits, it brings what we call recession. And what recession actually does is it moves money to a certain group of people. Yeah. If you check the news, you realize, people in the real estate sector made a lot of money because people went to foreclosure. Yeah. And people like me, who are investors who had a little cash, actually cashed out of that, even though we're not the ones. So why it is a very sensitive issue to talk about, it was a really good time. And of course, it gave us the opportunity to help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
My foundation fed 25,000 people in Nigeria, Ghana.
Congratulations.
And Congratulations. They gave us the opportunity to also help them.
Congratulations on that one. Now, in today's conversation, I'll stick it with you and start with you because you are just like myself. We do a lot of coaching. We do a lot of facilitations and speaking across board to empower people. I wanted us to get into some of the nuggets of life, some of the musings that people can live by. What are some of the things you wish you knew before 25? You wish somebody sat you down and gave you some of these things. Let's start with your first two, and then I move to Patience, and I'll come back to you. So the floor is yours now.
So, growing up, of course, I grew up in Africa. I grew up in Nigeria. When I was 25, I wish I could just I would have taken a lot of financial literacy classes.
Wow.
Our parents taught us almost everything: good manners, demeanor, how to respect and things. But one of the things you realize that when you get into the real life is if you don't understand how money works, you're
in trouble.
Because that is where and a lot of us learned how to use money or how to financial literacy from our parents.
Yeah.
And, so that mindset is transferred from generation to generation. If you check my YouTube channel, The Black Mentor TV, I had a whole video done that I did for that, where, my dad used to tell me, God bless his soul, he would call me and say, Joseph, now that you have money, make sure you save and save and save. But the more I kept on saving, the more I kept on struggling, But when I moved down to the United States, then I started having mentors, which is going to lead me to my second point, having mentors and just, foregoing so many things. I started having mentors. They started teaching me to invest because there are two, it's a bed with two different wings. One side is saying save, the other side is saying invest. When I caught the understanding of investment in less than 5 years, I built over 17 businesses with over $20 million net worth in less than 5 years. And that is what investment helps you to compound. 2 times 1 is 2, but 2 times 2 becomes 4, and 4 times 4 becomes
16.
And it goes on. And that is the power of compounding. So if I knew when I was 25 about these two things, getting mentors help you to let you know, because they've gone through this trend. One of my mentors here is Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is worth over $500 million.
Yeah.
So you can imagine if my dad, like I said, he's late now, God bless his soul, was going to be teaching me financial literacy. I rather want to listen to Grant Cardone. Yeah. So those were the first 2 things I've done. Number 1, learn financial literacy. Number 2, get mentors.
Thank you for that one. And that story is very typical of the rich dad, poor dad scenario that Robert Kiyosaki speaks about in the book. And when you speak about the 2 wings of the bed, I think I can fully relate. Now, let me talk to you, Patience, about what your first 2 are when it comes to, the things you wish you knew before you were 25. So, Patience, talk to me about your first 2 things you wish somebody told you before you turned 25.
It's really interesting that our minds are working alike. The same things that I had written down as when I was thinking about this. Number 1 for me was mentorship and financial education. So it's interesting that. So my number 1 lesson that I wish I knew before I turned 25 would be to follow my dreams and to know that my imaginations are very powerful and they're the stepping stone for my greatness. Yeah. So I say that I remember when I was 16 and I had written something in my journal saying that I wanted to own my business. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to work in UN and all of that. But growing up, my parents didn't allow me to study what I wanted to study. They didn't allow me to do business. They wanted me to be a lawyer and all of that. So nobody ever told me that, it's okay for you to dream to be a businesswoman, to own the biggest, to become the richest woman. Nobody ever said it was okay to dream that big. Yeah. But now, coming into station, it is important that whatever is in your head, whatever is coming to your mind, it is valid. And you can become that thing. Nothing is stopping you from becoming that person. Absolutely. So that for me, one major lesson. And I love the fact that now I've come to that realization and I'm living my dreams. Yes. And the second thing I want young people, and also which is my major lesson, is understanding that you are good enough. Regardless of your background, where you're coming from, you are good enough. Learning that and coming to that realization has really changed my life. Fantastic. And has just helped me to become and show up confidently. Mm-hmm. Just knowing that regardless of the fact that you had some ridiculous journey, maybe you didn't go to the right school, which was my own case. I felt that I didn't have the right background. I didn't go to the right school. So because of that, I couldn't speak at certain places. I couldn't contribute or show up. But now that's a different mindset for me because, yes, I am good enough. I know who I am. I know who I can become. I understand growth mindset that even if I'm not good enough at certain places, or maybe if don't have certain skills, I can actually develop them. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, let me share a few, maybe just one thing I wish somebody told me before I was 25. So for me, I wish somebody told me there's a difference between learning, schooling, and education. if I got that information early enough, I think that I would have approached life a lot more different than I did. So I wish I knew very early in my life the difference between learning, schooling, and education. Now, before we wrap it up, let me go back to my brother Joseph and take one more, and then I'll come back to you again, Patience, and we'll take another one, and then we wrap it up. Of course, I'm going to give them your handles so they can come and chase you down and get more wisdom and more nuggets and more direction from you as well. So what I want to do is go back to my brother and take one more thing he wishes he knew. But before that, just know that in the comments all on our social media, you can also tell us some of the things you wish you knew before you were 25, so we can all learn from each other. That's what Conversations is all about. So my brother, the final thing you you wish you knew before you were 25.
So I just want to talk to somebody who's 25. If you're 25 right now, set up your business. I wish when I was 25, I started this journey early. I wish I wasn't just chasing after jobs and chasing after handouts. So if you're 25, go out there and set up your first business and fail forward. You probably might fail in that business, but the thing is, you would have built some certain tenacity. You would have built some certain skills. What businesses do for you is it helps you to talk to people. And by so doing, you're building people's skills.
Absolutely.
It helps you it helps you to get into so many pitfalls, and it helps you to build personality and so many things. So when I was 25, I wish I had my first business. When I was 25.
Fantastic.
I'm scared. What do you have? Are you good in money area? Are you good in talking to people? Handcraft. What you do is build a business around it. Set up your first business. Here in America, we call it LLC. In Nigeria, they have different names. In Ghana, go out there, put some money together. It might be your chop money, like they call it in Ghana. It might be your pocket money in Nigeria. Set up your first business when you're 25.
Fantastic. So go out there, set up your first business around whatever it is that you're passionate about and you love. And you might fail, but you will fail forward, building some level of tenacity and capacity for the next level. Patience, what's the final thing you can tell us that you wish you knew before you were 25?
Yeah, so one thing that I wish I knew before I turned 25 would be the importance of self-development and self-mastery. And it's just so important how you need to focus on that. You cannot stop building yourself. You cannot stop learning. You just have to keep evolving daily. So now I take that so serious. And it's just so important to keep learning from people, to keep having mentors, coaches, and the rest of it. So it's really, really important to know that that is necessary. And when I talk about personal mastery, it's also important for you to discover yourself.
Yes.
What are the things about you that you learn how to manage? What are the things about you that you need someone to support you around? It's okay for you to go through that process of self-discovery and then master yourself.
Fantastic.
So I wish I knew that earlier. Certain things that I had struggled with, I wouldn't have struggled with them. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, for me, self-development is like top of the priority list. In fact, I even have a University of Personal Development where we work around equipping people to discover themselves early enough and put themselves in positions where they can build capacity for value creation for the world, because the money always flows to those who are creating value and solving problems. So thank you so much for coming. I united America with Abuja today. I mean, it's been amazing. Thank you guys so much. Your handles are on there, so I know they're going to bombard you, so be ready for them. Thank you for taking the time. I knew that my brother had to run and go and take care of some international business. I have kept you for a meeting. I love you guys so much for doing this, and I cannot wait for us to do this again. So enjoy the rest of your day. And with that, we are having a conversation. What did you wish you knew before you were 25? Drop it in the comments and let us hear from you. When I come back from the commercial break, there is more. Stick and stay. Of course, I need to spice you up with a little inspiration, some musings, something to get you thinking, to shift your perspective, and to get you asking yourself those existential questions that will move your life in an upward trend. This week's motivational video will blow your mind. Let's check it out.
This is a dollar bill. Now, if I go to the store and there's something for 90 cents, can I buy it with this dollar bill? Okay, all right. So if I go to the store and there's something for 85 cents and after tax, it ends up being 96 cents, can I buy it with this dollar bill? Okay, all right. So what if I ball the dollar bill up? Think about it now. Like, I just balled the dollar bill up, like, so it can't be worth $1 now. It's probably worth like 95 cents, right? How much you think it's worth? $1. Listen, y'all gotta pay attention. I just balled it up, so clearly it's not worth $1 anymore. All right, so maybe, what if I step on it? What if I stomp it? I just stomped it. How much is it worth now? Maybe 65 cents, 68 cents? It's still worth $1? Okay, what if I ball it up? What if I stomp on it and then I put it in the trash can and it's in here with some trash and it's around some beer and some gum and a bunch of other nasty stuff and some guy off the street pulls the dollar out, unfolds it. How much is it worth now? Maybe 82 cents? And come on, at least 92 cents? It's okay, all right, so what if I ball it up? What if I step on it? What if I put it in trash and then, watch this, I tear it in half? Think about it now, right? How much is it worth now? $1? I could tape it? Whoa. Shh. Wait. Wait a second. I just balled it up. I just stepped on it. I put it in trash. I pulled it out. Then I tore it in half. And you mean to tell me I can pick the dollar up, I can wipe it off, and I can put some tape around it, and it's still worth $1? Then why, if this dollar doesn't lose its worth or its value, then why do you feel like you've lost your worth and value? Because many of you feel like you've been stepped on, you feel like you've been pushed aside, you feel like you've been abandoned, you feel like you've been talked about, you feel like you've been abused, like someone took from you, someone hurt you, somebody took advantage of you, and deep down inside your core, you feel like you've lost some of your value. And I am here to tell you today that this dollar still has worth and value, because there are some men years ago who put value over this life and said that no matter what happens to it, it can still be taped back together, it can still be wiped off. And I am here to tell you that you were created and you're born and you're here and you have life and you have purpose and you have value. And though you've gone through some hard times and though you've experienced some depression and you might be wanting to hurt yourself and you might want to give up, I am here to tell you you still got worth and value. And there is nothing that can happen that can take your worth and your value away. So what you gotta do now, you gotta pick yourself up. You gotta dust yourself off and you gotta keep moving.
And that is the motivational video for the week. Now, these things really get me up at night, man. And I sit down, sometimes cross my leg, put the lights out, some candles, and I get into deep meditations about some of these thoughts and how these philosophies and thinkings can change my life. And I hope it's doing the same for you. Of course, I'm back same time next week with deeper, better, higher conversations that would add value to your life and aid you in going forward. So you don't want to miss it. You do not want to be the one who doesn't catch up on the stuff we're talking about. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Kwame A.A Opoku will be back next week right here on MX24GH with MS Conversations. Enjoy the rest of your week. Go out there, do things that make your inner light shine. Shalom, peace be with you. Cheers, guys.